the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other, the cousin of the Zoldyck family themselves. Yes, is he to bring you that hunter greatness reaction to episode 135 of the 2011 anime. Look, man, you know I watched it when it came out. Watched it when it came out, right? Just wow. They depicted what the manga did so beautifully. Okay? Because I remember, and I told people this. Now, understand that we're still not done with the Chimera Ant arc. For those who are anime only watchers, if you don't know, we still did not cover, I believe, 316, 317, and the second half of 318, chapters-wise, before we go into the next arc. Which I shall not spoil for those who don't want to be spoiled what that arc is, but I'm just going to say. The Chimera Ant arc. The Chimera Ant arc is the greatest written arc in fiction history. The next arc, though, is the arc that made Hunter x Hunter my top 5 favorite manga. Okay? The next arc is my favorite arc in Hunter x Hunter. Then comes the Chimera Ant arc. Then comes York New City arc. The Kurapika greatness. Do I need to say more? I shouldn't need to. My dog Kurapika, favorite character in the series. And it's Killua and it's Sisoko. Okay, I won't reveal who jumped to my 4th. But at the time of the Chimera Ant arc, it was Mariam the King was number 4. And Chairman Isaac Natero was number 5. But there's a dude who's usurped and got into the 4th spot. And you will be more interested. You know him, but you will be more knowing him. Or you know of him, I should say. But no more spoiling. Anyways, to this thing. When I read the 318, which, shout out to Northside Z. Northside got it right, more or less. I was half right, because I'm like, yo, they can't completely do 318 because it'll spoil for the next, you know, they still have business to take care of in this arc. But he was right on that they would finish up with the king, which I liked how they did it. No disrespect to how Togashi did it in the manga, but I really liked how they just tied it all up. Because Palm did say it's done. Okay. They didn't really do the intro. They didn't do the normal outro. This whole episode, you could tell it was just different, the magnitude. And it's like, yo, with Palm. Like, Palm, I think, had the reaction of many people. They really believe in this? Can somebody really change this much? I mean, he's supposed to be evil, and it deals with stereotypes. It deals with a lot of elements. It deals with what it means to be human. Like, Togashi really went in with this arc, okay? And, you know, you gotta, look, if you don't love the development, the characterization of Mariam throughout, and even before, see, why I was so hyped about Mariam is the way he was introduced before he even was born. Because by the time he was born, it was straight like, whoa. But just the build up, and then through this, and then the transition. It's like, and then the fact of the true love he has for Komugi, and Komugi has for him. It's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, in that final scene, you see I used the manga in the thumbnail. The manga chapter is from 318. I mean, it was beautiful, touching. Like, I was already feeling it because I was catching up this last week with the manga, right? And I mean, the chapters that came before this were touching. You'll see some of the stuff that goes on in next week's episode. But it was beautiful, touching, emotional. Literally, I had manly tears. And even in watching this episode, when the final moments with, I love how it went black before you see Komugi. And it showed that Komugi's actually not stupid, by the way. She knew exactly what was going down, even when he told her. Like, she's like, I don't care. More or less, I want to be with you. And it's like, yo, man. And the question is, do we even know how old Komugi is? She's got to at least be her late teens, early 20s, is what it seems. I mean, she seems young, but I'm guessing she's a young woman, to be honest with you. Palm's age? Possible. I don't know. But anyways, like, And she's like, with Komugi, you know, I've never been treated, someone like me can be treated like this. It's like, yo, man. And then that game, the final game, you know, going to sleep, and she just being there. And I mean, for any man, I'll be honest with you, for any real man, to die with somebody that you love right by your side, that's, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that as far as in how death goes. Now, here's the thing. I'm referring to when, as you're gonna die. Now, if you die suddenly, what do? You don't expect that. But, you know, car crash or, you know, heart attack or some jazz like that. But, you know, if you know you're gonna die, you're in a cancerous situation or something like that, those that you love around you, I mean, I just think it get really better than that. And it's just a beautiful moment. And some will say, well, he turned human. I don't know if he turned human or not. I don't think it's even the point. Love transcends, you know. You say between a man and a woman, you know, however you want to take it. It really gets at the core. It deals with a lot of values that I have, and the maturity of the king. I mean, the fact that he was so forgiving. He knew what they were thinking. And it's like, and he admitted it. It's almost like some would say on a god level, but he admitted he's not a god. You know, he's not a demigod. He realized what he is. He's been given this great power, and on that Stan Lee status, on that through Uncle Ben, what was quoted: "With great power comes great responsibility." He understands that now. Before he dies, you know, to administer justice, to administer mercy. Okay. And a whole lot of things. Like, it is really, really deep. What went down. And Palm, even she could feel the magnitude. And even the fact that he was as seemingly almighty king, the omnipotent one, it would seem to, in the eyes of, for example, Poof. Oh, and let me talk about that. How they did Poof. How they depict that. Wow. Tragic. Not for Poof, just the whole scene. Just all of it burned down. And yeah, the Hunter Association came in. But Marion willing to bow, to kneel because he wants this one wish fulfilled. He could go take. Well, he didn't know where she was at, apparently. But he could go take, but no. And then he's just smiling, you know. Komugi's even dreaming of I was about to say Shogi, but Gungi. You know, that just this whole episode just embodied a lot of the best elements of when when humans are interacting properly, when not properly etiquette wise, but literally, you know, caring for their own. And I know Miriam was a chimera ant, but, you know, it didn't matter. It showed us what we can be. It showed us from the darkest, pretty much the darkest depths of humanity. Not the dark, not into the abyss. We ain't going into the abyss. But the darkness on a normal sense. Into the heights. The most beautiful, like the most elegant, exquisite, memorable parts. It's, you know, it's these memories like these. It's, you know, it reminds us. This is when fiction is at its highest. When it's realer than reality. Because a lot of times people get caught up in fantasy, in fictional thought. And not fiction like, you know, books and other medium, whatever. You know, I'm talking about fictional world. But I'm talking about, like, they don't live in reality. They don't really live, you know. Many are just existing. They're existing robotically and stuff. They're not thinking critically. Marion was constantly analyzing, even with the whole Goonie game, like the whole analysis of it, the whole he's thinking thoughts, you know, the emotion, and it shows once again, like, people don't know the effects of even games they can have on you, because many games are complex once you really get into it. I mean, it's kind of reminds me of a conversation myself and another young lady I was friends with when I was up in college, right? And we were telling the dude, because we were talking about Domino, and he thought, oh, it's just a game. No. It's more than just a game. bones, as we like to call it, is more than just a game. There was a lot of things that get you to think in this episode, but even if you don't, you just experience the moments and just the beautiful way that Togashi's depicted it. And you know, like, just talking, just thinking about it, and the fact that he made Komugi blonde is something very interesting. Okay, it's very interesting that he made Komugi blonde, because it was not even just about the weakness. It was about the fact is, how often do many people judge based on visual, based on the stereotypes, based on, because for all we knew, if Komugi looked at him, I'm not saying she would have, but you know, looked at him and said, oh, it's appalling. It kind of is along the lines of, you know, it gets once to if you really want to look at it, it's like we need to check ourselves and we need to reevaluate what we look at, you know, how we view the world. Because it's the same kind of thing as if you know the story of Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster, before he became murderous or whatever, he was learning because of I believe it was a farmer or woodsman or something along those lines. It's been a few years since I've read it. It was a senior year in high school, my AP lit class. Anyways, the daughter was blind and she would do, but it wasn't until the father came in that you know, was screwed over. That's when he got screwed over, and he was ran out and nearly beaten and stuff. But the blind girl was accepting. She didn't see the freak. She just noticed somebody was more or less human. Okay. And it's kind of, and I do remember, and just keep coming back to me. Last thing I like to say, or one of the last, anyways. The Thing. If you remember the Fantastic Four movie, and they got the black woman who played his blind girlfriend or whatever. It was, I forget if it was in The Rise of the Silver Surfer or if it was in the first Fantastic Four. I can't remember. But you know, once again, we need to think about it. You know. Now I know a lot of people that may watch this video of mine aren't necessarily racist or, you know, prejudiced in a lot of areas, but it's very hard to overcome all prejudices. So there may be things that you deal with, you know, and I won't even delve into all the possibilities, but I'm just asking anyone who watches this video, really think about how you view people, how you view animals, how you view the world, how you view nature, and how you view this life. Do you value all life? Do you pick and choose what it is you value? Is it because it affects you personally, or is it because you have a greater sense of life itself? Do you respect life? Okay. I mean, I think Miriam learned that lesson throughout his lifetime. As short as it was, as accelerated as it was, you know, he went from villain to pretty much not a tragic hero, but a tragic character. And that's part of the reason why this is the greatest written arc in fiction history. Unexpected one, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this episode. Tell me your thoughts. Like, what have you gleaned? And then, like I said, there's a little bit more from the Criterion arc for those who haven't seen, haven't read the manga. But, you know, just a little bit more to add to it. It ain't, you know, it ain't super significant, but at the same time, there's some points in it that are significant. But yeah, just tell me your thoughts, and till next time, y'all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.